love the Persona series. The concept of it being a half JRPG and a half school life simulator was just a breath of fresh air for me, especially when I grew up on, and I still do play, a lot of competitive shooters. The gameplay, the characters, the music. My fucking god man, the music will forever be a banger to me and no one can change that. So imagine my joy when I realised that there was an anime series based around my now favourite game series, and imagine how happy I was when almost all of them were good. Why did I say almost all of them? We'll get to that. But first, what is Persona? Well, for those of you who are living under a rock, Persona is, as I just said, a half JRPG and a half school life simulator game. The JRPG side is like any other JRPG. You have a small party with some other party members in your reserve. You go to a not so nice place and you just kill a bunch of stuff, get stronger, earn new gear, earn money, unlock new skills, and basically all of that other fun stuff that comes from a JRPG game. The school life simulator bit, however, is a lot more different and, in my opinion, makes Persona such a fantastic game. You literally just have a school life. You go to school, you meet your friends, you can even romance one of your friends, you can get a part-time job, you can spend more money on whatever you want. Also, fun fact for those who care, each insignia in the Persona schools are based off a car company's logo in real life. What makes this aspect of the game enjoyable is that it will help you in your JRPG adventures. You want better weapon or armor but you're too weak to grind? Well, you better get a part-time job and start saving up money. You want to unlock a special ability for a party member that you really need? Well, you need to spend time with that party member in real life, no matter how annoying you find them. Oh wait, your social stats are too low for you to even initiate the first conversation with that party member? Well, you better start studying, start doing some reading, and generally just start getting those social stats up so you can even interact with them in the first place. It sounds like a tedious system, and I know that, but that's what makes Persona such an enjoyable game, because you need to do all of this time management stuff whilst making sure you spend enough time doing all your JRPG stuff, because you're on a time limit to fight the boss. Also, you can pick and choose who you want to hang out with, and in general, do what you want, letting you have a unique experience that can differ from myself or from other players. Now that I've fully budgeted explaining the Persona series, it's time to talk about the anime. And before I do, I just want to give out an obvious spoiler warning for Personas 3, 4 and 5. If you guys haven't watched the show or even played the game, I highly recommend you go do one of those two before you come watch this. The less you know, the blinder you get into it, the better and the more enjoyment you'll get out of it. Now, this Persona review is going to come out in 3 parts. Mainly because if I did this as like one long video, it would have been like an hour long, which would have been very fun for everyone. So you got Persona 3 right now, Persona 4 as my next video, and then Persona 5 as my video after that. So subscribe to my channel to see them come up, and also go check out my other 2 videos. My very first one on Kaiji and why I think is the best gambling anime of all time, and my second one on Domestic Girlfriend and why I think is the best worst romance anime. Otherwise, just sit back, like this video if you do like it. It will help me out so I know to do, what not to do. And leave a comment down below if you got a suggestion on like what anime or even manga I should review. I'm down to like review anything, so just hit me with any random stuff and I'll give it a shot. Otherwise, sit back and relax and enjoy this review on Persona 3, 4 and 5. Mainly 3. Now, if you looked at my thumbnail for this video, you'll realise I've only included the MCs from Persona 3, 4 and 5. Well, that's because the first Persona anime, Persona Trinity Souls, is 1. A non-canon story based 10 years after the events of Persona 3, and 2. Doesn't really have any other form of media, be it like a game or a manga, so no one can really get into it before they watch the anime. So basically, it's just like an original story with characters that no one knows or even cares about, and honestly, just don't bother watching it. Instead, here's something more interesting. A trip to Tartarus. Persona 3 is based in Tatsumiport Island, a man-made island located in Watodai City, which is based off his real-life counterpart, Chuoku, in Kobe, Japan. Here is where we see our main character Makoto Yuki move to after being transferred to Kyokukan High School. After witnessing the death of his parents, Makoto became a very nihilistic person, not having the will to either live nor die, and as well as not having any interests or motivations in life. This nihilism is the main reason why he joined and later became the leader of SEES, the Specialized Extracurricular Execution Squad, a group of teenage Persona users who use their schizophrenic power to fight shadows, which are monsters born from and carry negative human emotions. They summon the Personas by using an evoker, a pistol-shaped device that they point at themselves. Persona 3 the anime is broken down into 4 movies, a movie for each season: spring, summer, fall, or if you're normal, autumn, and winter. Each movie follows SEES in their venture into the Dark Hour, a hidden hour where all of the shadows appear, and their objective is to defeat all of the Arcana shadows and destroy Tartarus, the perceived home of all of these shadows. In each movie, we watch SEES grow with new members find success in their fight as well as suffer severe losses, and each member finding their true reason to fight, including Makoto after he forms a strong bond with the Seas members and sacrifices himself to protect not just his teammates but the world from ending. There's a lot of good thing that the anime does right off the bat. First, the soundtrack used in the game's OST in such a faithful way. You've got Burn My Dread for the introduction of the first movie, you've got Mass Destruction being used for the fights in Tartarus, you've got Want to Be Close to You being used in the school settings at Gakukan, and you've got Memories of You being used for the ending of the fourth movie. It feels really good to hear like the original soundtrack being used in such a faithful way. It felt like the directors actually cared when and where to use the music. It's not like they just threw the music at random like places because they thought it was, it worked well. They actually cared about where each game OST is used and faithfully recreated it in the movie, and it just gives that movie just such a nice Persona 3 feeling. Moreover, the movie stays true to the game, from being faithful to the layout of Tasumi Port Island to showing key characters that you could actually form a social link with in the game, and even using the same transitions in the game, which was a calendar that showed the date and the phases of the moon, because in the game each boss fight for the major arcanas happened at a full moon. Again, it does such a really good job at staying faithful to the original game. Next is the art style. Now, the art style has this very saturated look, I want to say, where the bright colors kind of pop out at you, whilst the darker colors just kind of step back and not really affect your eyes. Especially in the fourth movie where mostly everything is grey, or even when the dark arrow occurs where you have this green shading which makes everything again just kind of stand out. Honestly, I think the art style is just fucking gorgeous. There's not much else I can say. There's nothing I can really describe it to. Especially in the fourth movie, you have this very dark grey setting, and then you just have these sunlights coming through the cloud and just hitting the characters quite nicely. It looks so fucking gorgeous. I genuinely don't know how what else to say about it. It's so fucking good. It does the game justice for how it is. If you've seen the original Persona 3 on the PlayStation or the portable version, the art style does not look good obviously because it's all polygons. So just watching the anime and just seeing everyone just looks so fucking well done, it does the game justice. And out of the core three, be Persona 3, Persona 4 and Persona 5, I think personally Persona 3 has the best looking art style, and I'm so fucking glad that AIC Astro and A1 Pictures didn't destroy Persona 3 with such a weird shit art style. They've done it justice and I'm so happy about it. Now, the comedy aspect of the show. In the game you can choose what Makoto says, and some choices allow you to say some dumb comedic shit. In the movie however, Makoto is very nihilistic, so his comedic skills is somewhere down in the dirt next to his parents' coffin. But there is some jokes that the show makes, such as Aige's watching Shinji feed Koromaru whilst mass destruction plays in the background, and you got the boss fight in a love hotel at the start of the second movie. It's not like the movie is devoid of comedy, because there is some attempts to it, but being a comedy or having comedic elements is not what the movie wanted to focus on as a whole, especially if you look at the theme of Persona 3. The theme for Persona 3 is death, and it is shown a lot throughout the movie, with the most obvious one being the way they summon their personas. They take a gun, a fake gun, YouTube, a fake one, they put it somewhere here, or here, or here, and then, they do the thing with the thing. You can't get any more obvious with that. They do the thing. However, I want to say that I don't believe that it's not our stereotypical idea of death. I believe that it's the idea of a spiritual death, leaving the old self behind and starting anew. Especially when you look at the theme of tarot cards and arcana within Persona. The Persona games use arcana or tarot cards to, in a way, define certain characters within a tarot card's description. So, for example, you've got Makoto and Seas, which is represented by the full arcana as it's the start of the journey into finding the truth about Tartarus and the Dark Hour as a whole. And one of the arcanas used in all of the games is the Death Arcana. Quick history lesson. The arcana shows the Fool's journey throughout life, where each card of the arcana is a stage of that journey, starting with the Fool and going all the way to where the Fool finds the true meaning of life. The Death Arcana encourages the person to put the past behind them and the old ways, and be ready to embrace new opportunities and possibilities. In short, it's kind of like a phoenix being born from his own ashes. It's even more important when you realise the meaning of the next card, Temperance, implies they have a clear vision and know what they want to achieve. This is an indication of higher learning, and it's a critical attribute in the journey of life. Also yes, I do have Persona 5 themed tarot cards. I don't use them, but they look fucking cool though. But I don't use them. Like I'm not a white girl enough. I'm not a white girl enough. I'm not a white girl enough. Yeah, it makes sense. Just don't judge me, please. I mention all of this because Persona 3 uses the Arcana definition of death rather than the literal one, where it is the sign of rebirth. And when you look at Persona 3 through that lens, everything makes just a bit more sense. So, for example, you got summoning the personas, their true selves, by shooting themselves, which is kind of like the aforementioned phoenix rising from the ashes idiom thing that I wrote. They experience a spiritual death to summon their true selves to fight the shadows. Next is the Velvet Room, which could resemble Makoto using the power of the Arcanas to reach his goal, only stopping when he achieves the world, or in this case, the universe, which is something only Makoto achieves throughout the whole Persona series. Plus, you have everyone leaving the old weak selves behind and becoming a new, stronger person after the final fight with Nyx, who is the goddess of sleep, fate, nemesis, old age, and more importantly in this example, death. And because of this theme of death, that's why I genuinely believe Persona 3 is the best Persona. Not as an anime, I'll get to that even though that's like the main reason I'm doing these videos. But Persona 3 has such a different and interesting charm to it that just makes it attractive to me. I want to say it's edgy. I don't think it's edgy at all. It's like some dumb shit like that. But just the idea of approaching death in such a non-direct way, using the Arcana symbolism instead, talking about it in like a spiritual way, and like how instead of like actually dying, you like kill your old self and become new, become stronger. I think it's just such an interesting way to look at death. Then you pair that up with such a beautiful art style, a faithful recreation of the original source, and just a little bit of comedy just to keep the viewers entertained, and to me you get such a really good, really enjoyable and very faithful recreation of a great game that shows all of its key events that happens within the game and shortens it down to the most important bits and pieces it all together in 4 90-100 minute episode movies. Now that we're a bit depressed over Persona 3, let's unwind and go watch the Midnight Channel.